The power of a quiet morning. Hello, and welcome to Lifestyle with Maria. Today, I would like to share one of the most important parts of my life with you, my mornings. I truly love a new morning. There's something special about it. When I wake up, it feels as though everything is beginning again. A new day, new possibilities, new opportunities, a fresh start. Perhaps it is only a feeling, but to me, it feels very real. There is a unique freshness in the early morning hours. The air feels different. The light feels different. Even the silence has a different quality than at any other time of the day. That is why I try to create mornings that are peaceful, quiet, and harmonious. It doesn't always happen perfectly, but most of the time it does. And the difference it makes in my life is remarkable. I usually wake up quite early, but I have to confess something. I am definitely not one of those people who jumps out of bed the moment the alarm clock rings. Quite the opposite. When my alarm goes off, I often hit snooze a few times. Some mornings, getting up feels genuinely difficult. A warm bed is simply too comfortable, and the thought of a few extra minutes of sleep can be very tempting. But eventually, I remind myself why I want to get up, and that reason always helps me leave the comfort of my blanket behind. When I finally do get up, I consider it a small morning victory. Still wearing my pajamas, I make myself a cup of hot tea. I love that moment. The aroma of the tea, the warmth of the cup in my hands, the quiet that still fills the house. Then I return to my bedroom, but not to lie down again. Instead, I sit comfortably in bed. I lean back, I hold my tea, and I begin to pray. For me personally, prayer is the most important part of my morning, more important than anything else. Not my phone, not social media, not the news, not emails. First comes silence. First comes prayer. First comes my time with God. It is a moment that belongs only to me. And in that quiet space, something very important happens. This is where I prepare myself for the day ahead. This is where I remember what truly matters to me. This is where my priorities are adjusted. This is where my attitude is shaped. This is where the tone of my day is set, and perhaps even the direction of my life. I protect this time carefully. It is precious to me. And honestly, prayer is often the very reason I get out of bed on mornings when I would rather stay under the covers. Because I know how I feel when I make time for it. And I also know how I feel when I skip it. The difference is significant. When I begin my day in silence, everything seems to flow more peacefully. That does not mean problems disappear. It does not mean difficult things never happen. Life is still life. But my inner attitude changes. I feel calmer, more patient, more balanced. Over the years, I have noticed how much of a difference just a few minutes of quiet reflection can make. For me, that time is prayer. For someone else, it may be meditation. For another person, it may be journaling, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee in the morning. We are all different, but I believe that creating a moment of stillness can bring more peace and balance into many of our lives. A moment to pause, a moment to let the world wait, a moment to turn inward. Today, we are constantly surrounded by noise, notifications, news, responsibilities, expectations. Many of us reach for our phones before we have even left our beds, and in doing so, we allow the outside world to decide how we will feel. I try to do the opposite. I want to connect with myself first. I want to connect with God first, and only then open myself to everything else. In my own life, these quiet mornings bring a sense of inner peace. They help me find balance. They teach me to listen to my inner voice, and they remind me of what truly matters. When I take time for prayer and reflection in the morning, I move through the rest of the day feeling calmer, more patient, and more grounded. These moments quietly build a strength that we may not even notice. Not the strength to fight loudly, but the strength to remain calm when things do not go according to plan. The strength to stay balanced when challenges appear. The strength to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. There is a huge difference between someone who carries peace within themselves and someone who starts the day stressed and overwhelmed. We can all feel it. When we spend time with peaceful people, we often feel calmer ourselves. Their presence is comforting. Stress, on the other hand, spreads very quickly. That is why I believe caring for our inner peace is not selfish. It is a gift we give not only to ourselves, but also to the people around us. When we are calm, we can be calmer with others, kinder, more patient, more attentive. After prayer comes the second part of my morning, and it is wonderfully simple. I enjoy simple things. I prepare a delicious breakfast, something that gives me energy and helps me enjoy the beginning of the day. Then I take a warm shower. That too feels like a small ritual. The warm water, the feeling of freshness, the sense of beginning again. It feels like a gentle transition into a new day. And then I am ready. Ready for the tasks ahead, ready for challenges, ready for conversations, ready for whatever the day may bring. Of course, I cannot predict the future. I do not know what will happen in an hour or later in the afternoon, but I do know one thing. I started my day intentionally. I started my day peacefully, and that gives me a strong foundation. I think many of us search for strength in the wrong places. We look for it in constant productivity, in busyness, in endless to-do lists. Yet sometimes the greatest strength can be found in silence, in stillness, in a peaceful heart. Because a person who has found peace within does not need to fight every situation. They do not need to have all the answers. They do not need to control everything. They simply know where they can return when life becomes overwhelming. And for me, that place is my quiet morning, my prayer, my time with God. If there is one thought I would like you to take away from today's video, it is this. A peaceful morning may not create a perfect day, but it can help create a more peaceful person. And sometimes that is the most valuable gift of all. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself. Make space for quiet moments. Create small rituals that bring peace into your life. And if you enjoyed today's video, I would love for you to join me again next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Lifestyle with Maria.